I'm your host, Joseph. Just found out that my lighting is not on. But hi, everybody. We got a lot of news to talk about. JK, we're just becoming the Nintendo Nook this episode. But we got some thoughts. Because I feel like I'm maybe taking crazy pills, but again, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But first, I want to welcome back the sickly, but yet still strong. T, how you doing, girl?
I'm
Oh, get my phone.
surviving. That's about all I can say.
We so sorely missed you last week, and everyone in
Oh
chat
We
my
really
missed
did.
you.
It didn't
God.
So
feel
it's
right.
good to have you back.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I think because I was in a fever delirium for so long, the whole week was such a blur. I could not
Sure.
could not tell you what happened last week.
Yep.
Besides like my doctor's appointment. And that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's how the last 48 hours have been. Very crazy. Very crazy. Oh, but I'm glad you're all right.
Yes.
My goodness.
I'm happy to be back. I missed you guys.
Same.
And my mental health needs the conversation.
Like, honestly, it's like, even like some of this conversation tonight, I don't want to fucking have. But it's like, I'm just talking with my best friends, and so I like it. You two, go ahead, play around with this game. I'm going to be fixing up the notes because I forgot there's some more questions in here.
Okay.
So
Don't forget
take y'all's
to
time.
post that we're live as well when you can.
And that too.
What are we thinking, Light? Do you have any inklings as to what this game is?
Honestly, my first instinct was wow.
All right, I don't hate it.
But I don't know like if it would be like an expansion pack or something. Like the textures kind of look wowish to me.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go for it. Any specific like version of it, or just old OG World of Warcraft?
I guess just World of Warcraft because
Okay.
I don't know if it would be a specific expansion pack.
It's not.
Nah.
75. Some sort
Is
of
that
ogre
troll?
troll, yeah. So I think the God of War game scored higher than a 75. So I don't think it's them. Is this a bow? Looks like someone's shooting a bow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it. Let's skip. Giant panda.
PS3 piece.
Ooh.
I have no idea.
Does Kingdoms of Amalur have a
I
panda bear?
don't think so.
So Candace says he figured this one out on the last clue. Okay.
Okay.
That makes me feel better. Let's skip it one more time. Let's see. A ship! Oh, boy. What are these things? What's going on here? Anything?
This wouldn't be like Sea of Thieves or something, would it?
No, I don't think so. This looks too
Okay.
realistic than Sea.
Could this be what's the pirate game from Ubisoft?
Skull and Bones?
Could it?
With no PS3 360.
No,
no,
It's an
PS3.
older one.
Black Flag?
I don't.
Does
Well,
Black
no,
Flag
there was
have
no
a panda.
panda.
Yeah, that's what
I was
I
gonna
mean.
say
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
yeah.
play it, but it was in the Caribbean, and last I checked, there were not pandas
All right,
there.
let's skip it again.
Oh, dude, Black Flag is my go-to.
2009.
No, this makes fucking. I'm distracted.
What?
What are those little things?
I don't know. I think we got to see it in motion. What the hell?
I have.
So are those like your little buddies?
It does look like they're summons or something. They're fighting
Yeah,
with
like,
you.
like little Pikmins.
Okay, there you go. I'm getting this all.
Triumph Studios.
Animusha 4 says NES Encyclopedia.
No, that would be Capcom.
Oh,
Oh, so Candy just giving us the answer for this one? Because he knows it?
okay. I didn't know. I actually Overlord 2 does make sense. I was actually gonna say that before, so can it? Because I
Okay.
remember the cover of that game at GameStop.
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't think I know that game.
What the hell kind of game is that?
I
don't know.
idea.
I think it was like a mixture of like RP or strategy versus action type of game.
Okay. Lava with a wall.
Just because the Nintendo Direct was today, I'm gonna put in Mario Odyssey.
Ooh, or like 3D World.
I was definitely thinking something Nintendo-ish, but
No, it's not. Okay, 83. Cool.
And 83 though.
We got Pillars and Columns.
this wouldn't be a God of War game, would it? One of the original ones?
You know what? Let's try it.
Okay,
Let's try
yes.
it. Let's go 2. Oh god, this is the one on April Fool's Day. So let's keep that in mind.
Ugh.
Oh, it's right here. It says lots of interesting game titles today. Oh, Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts, right?
3,
Yeah.
Right?
Because of the dumb pirate ship.
Oh. I just saw some of the things here, like Kingdom Hearts 3, a court of unpaid bills. So they did jokey answers in the things.
Oh,
Like
nice.
search for missing socks.
I was
like
wondering about the dad joke one. I was like, there's a God of War dad joke game? Like,
Yeah. Okay.
you know what's
So-
funny? As a Disney fan, I've never played Kingdom Hearts.
The first one is good.
I like 2.
I liked two blew my mind, T, because I was like in middle school and it was like I've never seen, literally like in my head it was like hundreds of bad guys on screen, but it's more like 20, and I was like, whoa, this is the coolest thing.
The only I don't want any of the Kingdom Hearts fans to come at me. The story is so hard to follow.
Well, that's why I haven't gotten into it, because there's just so many, and it's like it's overwhelming.
And the order to play them in to make it make sense is just all over the place. Just not my thing. All right. We got Steps in a Wall. Do you think this is like a cover-based shooter? Like a Gears? Does this look Gearsy?
We could definitely try it. I don't have anything else.
Let's just say 2. Oh, it is in the franchise. Okay. So Joe,
Yes.
what's your history with Gears of War is what? The first
I've
one?
I've played them all technically,
Sweet.
but
Okay.
it's been a long time.
Which one got a 91? Did the first one get a 91?
I would guess the first
God
one.
of War 2?
No, we just guessed 2.
Oh, 3?
So it's not 1.
Oh, 360 game.
So it's gotta be 3.
Oh, wait. Oh, Gears of War?
Gears, yeah, Gears.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought
Hey,
you guys were saying God of
Be
War.
proud of me that I got Gears off of this hint.
I'm
with the walls.
very proud of you. I am very
Is
proud
it?
of you.
Okay.
Do that, yeah. Oh, and I even know the mission. You're going back to your dad's mansion. That's right.
I got they had like a, I don't know, not a collector's edition, but they had like a re-release where all 3 of the games were in one pack at some point, right around when the Master Chief Collection came out, and that's when I played them all. But I only played them then, so it's been a long time.
All right, this looks cute and whimsical. I have an idea.
What I learned at boating school is...
Have any of you played Donut County before?
I was just gonna say
Yeah. All right, let's fingers crossed. Yeah. I love Donut
Just so you guys
County.
know, I don't feel good about this thumbnail. I do know it's clickbaity. I literally made it 30 minutes ago. I was stressed, and I'm going to be honest, guys. I needed to go use the restroom, and this is the fastest thing that came into my mind. I will be changing it.
Listen, I was already in a Grifters video this week, okay? We
Yeah.
don't need more.
That's fair. That's fair. Talk about someone who doesn't use Dr. Squanch's soap. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Go for it, Light. I
Shoot.
got nothing.
Reese, remind me what it's called because my pneumonia brain is blanking on me. What was the board game that we played all the time on board game night with the diseases?
Risk?
Does Plague
Is that
Inc.
fucking
have
Frisk?
a board game version of it?
No.
Oregon Trail?
I can't even blank on the name.
Pandemic?
Pandemic, yeah. Could it be the Pandemic game?
It's a good choice. Ooh, I liked it though.
Oh, Jonathan, I didn't see you here either. You would have known. Thank you so much for answering that.
All right, we're shooting missiles somewhere.
Yeah, that looks like definitely
Yeah.
some.
You okay if we skip it? Get one more?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
See, that looks pandemic to me.
It does.
Minus the missiles.
It also looks like, what's the game with the tanks? Like Shell Shock? Are you familiar
World
with
of
Shell Shock?
Tanks.
No, not World of Tanks. Oh, jeez. I don't know. It's very ominous.
It's a PC game too. I don't.
Yeah. It's been real, everybody. New York has been hit. 11 million
boy.
dead. We're done.
We're toast.
No more trophy room. Sorry.
Yikes. I would survive.
This is give me nothing here. RTS.
Real-time strategy. That, I mean, it makes sense, but I still don't know what it would be.
Oh, is this
2006. Whoa.
Command and Conquer?
No.
All right, fine. Just shoot down my idea. I don't even care.
Does Command and Conquer look like this, Joe? I thought there were troops and stuff. I thought you played Command and
I
Conquer.
have good ideas too, you know.
You do. You do.
It can't be worse than my pandemic board game video game.
It like the font here looks like the Shell Shock game,
Okay.
but it's not Shell Shock. Intro version
Head over to my
software.
Trophy room Discord.
What the hell? Okay, I think we take the L on this one. I don't even have a guess.
All right, cool. And then after this, let's guess the angle, and then let's get to this show.
DEF CON?
DEF CON. I
Joe,
mean,
we
makes
got,
sense.
We gotta
but
get at least. We gotta end on
we
the
can't
game
end
one.
on that one. That
All
one
right,
does
fine.
not
One
count.
more game.
And then we'll do an angle, and then we'll go.
Fine. Jesus.
Dirt.
I feel like a dad near my kids.
Dirt?
I've never played it, but those look like dirt bikes
Right.
to me.
Oh, what Dirt is? Which one is Dirt? Is Dirt the off-roading racing game?
Yeah.
Are there like ATVs in that, Joe? I haven't played them.
I
What's
played
the one with the bikes?
No.
BMX bikes.
Type in BMX bikes.
I was thinking that was
BMX
dirt, but
Kawasaki quad bikes. Let's go for it. No.
damn.
Now we're in a
An
mansion.
83?
I'm sorry. What?
Whiplash.
And why does it look like Resident Evil?
1,000,000%, Joe.
Well,
Type in
isn't
Evil.
isn't one of the Resident Evils more of an action, like Resident Evil 6 or something, more of an action style game?
6 is, yeah, but I
remember something with a train. Played it co-op
No,
with band.
It looks this
Let's
looks
do it.
creepy. Yeah.
Let's just do Resident Evil. 'Cause that's
Looks
definitely
spooky.
a mansion in Resident Evil. Well, it is okay. So this is 5.
Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5.
We got there. We got there. Chris punches a boulder. Is that the?
Yep.
Is that the clip? What's her name? Shiva, I think. The clip
I
should
love
have
the
been him
mod.
punching a boulder. I'm just saying.
The clip of the person's like, "Hey, why do you look like the Master Chief? Did you put mods in this?" The guy's like, "No," or no, Laura Croft. He's like, "No," and it turns to Master Chief.
All right, Joe.
Okay,
This is all you.
so it's an acute angle, correct?
Correct.
Put in 63.
Gotta go lower.
Go lower. Okay. Put in 43.
Okay. Higher.
Higher.
53.
I was gonna say, you gonna split the difference? You gotta go 53?
Take your answer. Let's go. I was gonna say 53.
I
It's a
gotta
little
go
higher.
up. So between 63 and 53.
56.
All right, is your last guess?
It's my last guess, and I'll die by it.
60.
Darn
Damn.
it.
Oh, man.
All right.
So
Listen, last time I was on, you nailed it. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. All right, gang, let's do this. Let me get OBS up, and I'm going to WandaVision for just a second. Oh, it's checking local files. This is never good when it checks local files. All right, we're going to be here for a second. Oh, downloading an update. I love this. This means it changed everything.
For what?
Oh, this is just just in case, like break glass in case of emergency.
Oh, okay.
Backup recording.
Listen, when I logged on to Discord on Monday and I saw it updated, I was like, how dare you? So I'm rocking the new Discord. I hate it.
Is that why my volume was so high?
It might have been. It might have been.
Guys, I logged into Discord and Joe's just screaming at me because my volume was all the way turned up on Discord. I was like,
There's a little peek behind the curtain. Joe's just always screaming at us.
That's right. That's right. And I'm doing it in German. So don't know why. I forgot what was I gonna say? Never mind. Probably nothing useful. Let me go check my volume.
Hey, Pops Arcade in chat. Welcome to the
Hello.
live show. Happy you can check us out.
Welcome. All right. Are we ready to go live?
I think so.
Okay, good. Also,
go live before I crash.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Yes.
Can we kick it to the intro?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
All right, chat. See you in 16 seconds.
Oh, wait, no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where we talk about the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation each and every week. This week, we chat about the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct and what it means for games today, flash news, and what we've been playing, and so much more as we do it live each and every. What was that all about, Kyle Stevenson?
Continue.
All right, as we do it live each and every Wednesday night over on youtube.com/PS Trophy Room and podcast services the very next day. Alongside me, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, and who didn't notice me botching this intro, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
You botched it because that was as much creativity as I had for that intro. That's why I did this, because I was like, we're gonna talk Switch 2. There's flash news. It's fine.
So yeah, when you shrugged, I'm like, did we disconnect?
No,
Like,
no. No, it was just me like, I'm sorry, everybody. That's as much energy, creativity I had to put into that today.
That's fair. I mean, dude, you've been having a busy few weeks, man. Working hard.
Launching a video game on the PR side of things is stressful.
Whew. I can only imagine. That said, where did you find the time to get this strapping looking haircut you got here? Look at you.
I had to go during my weekend because we're filming the 6-1 showcase on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So I saw myself in the camera last week and I was like, man, I look rough. My beard is crazy. My hair is way too long. So
it happens quick though. It gets away from you quick.
So I was trying to think when I was sitting in the barber chair when the last time I got a haircut was. And I feel like it was like September.
Oh, wow.
It's been a long time in between, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't like to brag. I got one myself. Got me a haircut. Did it myself, as you can see, because look at all these high spots. But like Kyle, I'll say this. I think you are the guy that rocks a haircut the best.
Thanks.
Like, I mean, it looks good.
Thank
You
you.
look like
Thank you.
look like a beautiful boy right there.
Hey,
That's my
it's
son
me.
over here.
Very
That's my son.
dapper.
I
Ooh.
know. Whoa. Ladies, he's single. Speaking of ladies, she's alive this week. But barely. T, how you holding up? Please don't break down.
Listen, I'm gonna sound like I've been smoking since I was 5. I apologize. I start laughing, and then is the laugh? Is it a laugh? Is it a cough? Who knows? Who knows?
not-
My lungs, not sure. They're not sure.
We're not gonna risk it.
But I am alive. I am surviving. I am tired.
Yes.
But we kicked the fever. My last day of antibiotics was I don't know. What's today? Wednesday? Monday, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. Some day recently.
Yeah.
We're powering through. My tummy's upset now though, because I was on a lot of medicine.
Yeah.
And now, my gut health is not great. So everything is just like meh.
Like I'm
Probiotics for the win.
I'm very happy that we have medicine to cure things when we're sick.
Sure.
But can we make medicine that doesn't give us such awful side effects?
Yeah.
Like
seriously.
antibiotics
Well-
that like I go outside for a minute, I get burned to a crisp. Like, what are we doing here? I'm already too white. Don't make it worse.
And then it's scary too, because so I was on a steroid that I had to take 2 pills of. Then I was on an antibiotic. Then I have my inhaler, which I couldn't take because it was literally putting me in tachycardia every single time I was using it.
Oh my
Because I don't know, that's just apparently a side effect of it. And I did not like how that felt. So I didn't take it unless I absolutely needed to. And then I had this heavy duty cough syrup because I was coughing so much I just couldn't stop in the heat of it. And right on there, it was like highly super addictive. And I'm like, I don't want to take this.
Yeah.
So, I took it because I had to. And it's only 5 days, but literally every single time I was like,
Well, you took it.
terrified every single time.
You took it because Ubisoft sent it to you, right? Because you're
Yeah.
Ubisoft shill, apparently,
Yeah.
according to some people. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Meanwhile, all that's going on. I was in a fighting mood. I'm like, don't mess with me right now. I'm on too many meds. Fisticuffs, man.
Joe and I were having a field day in our group text. You're muted, Joe.
Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, for those who don't know, some guy that looks like he wears his grandpa suits out of necessity was being mean to Light. Don't be jerks online, and please
No.
stop being weird to women online too. Please.
He's a wannabe grums, and it was me, 2 other women creators that I am friends with, and 1 male creator. And apparently, we were all paid off by Ubisoft because we got PR packages and we played the game. Ergo, we must have been corporate shills paid off.
Right.
But then his argument was the collector's edition that I bought myself. He's like, this collector's edition is $300 worth of product that they sent to her, and then she gave it a good review. I was like, dude, I literally have the receipt. I bought this myself.
It'd be one thing, Light, if
Now
this
go wash.
if this dude linked your coverage talking about Assassin's Creed of like us here on the show talking about it. He did it though. He was just like, oh, here's a collector's edition that she's unboxing. Cool.
Yeah, on a stream that I did. And then he found I had reacted to a trailer, like the first trailer that dropped. And I was like, just for full transparency, like I am an Ubisoft creator, but like they don't send me anything other than code. So like this is my natural like thoughts on it, whatever. And it was for a trailer reaction. And he clipped that and then clipped my unboxing of the thing. And I was like, well, first of all, that was from a year ago and they hadn't sent me anything. So like, timing is important here. So I was like, we can go at it in the comments. I am sick in bed. I got the time. I got the time. I got the energy. But it breaks my heart because there was somebody in there who had been a channel member that was like, I used to really be a big fan of Light, but now she's a shill for Ubisoft. I was like, dude, what the fuck? You are not a
believe
fan
those
then.
people.
You are not
Yeah.
a fan then. And I knew him too, and I was so sad. That was the one that hurt a little bit. I was like, dude, come on.
And for everyone listening or watching, don't give that dude a click. We're not going to say his name, but he looks exactly how you imagine him to look.
He looks like he doesn't wash his booty crack.
No.
Yeah.
He looks like he went to January 6th on a holiday.
Yeah.
He had a great time.
Great time. 500,000 feet away. But a great time. You know? He looks like he sells illegal fireworks. That's what we're dealing with here.
It looks like in his free time he recreates the Capitol building in Sims and just lives in there.
Like, I'm an ugly dude, but I even breathed a sigh of relief. You know? Could have been so much worse.
But it's not even the looks. It's the personality that just seeps through the looks. Like, I don't care how you look physically. It's your personality that just makes you look scuzzy, you know?
Yeah. I mean, looks are important, and he is one fugly son of a gun. I'll say that. I'll be the vain one, sure, you know? Again, people are like, aren't you fat and ugly? Yes, and I'm saying it, you know? And I'm looking at him going, yikes. Anyway, that said, listen.
So we had a fun week last week.
Yeah, it was good.
We had a fun week.
We were making sure Light wasn't dying. We were making fun of this guy.
Exactly. I was her sword and her shield. Okay, here's a real starter question. Because honest to goodness, this week, it goes to show the power of Nintendo. They have literally owned the news for 2 weeks. Last week, they dropped a third party, the last Nintendo Direct, totally owned the news cycle. Now, this week, it was all about the anticipation of the Nintendo Switch 2 release date and all the games that are going to be coming out for it. And there was barely anything of PlayStation out this week. Hell, even PlayStation joined in on some of the Nintendo Direct news. So, of course, we're going to talk about that. But in the meantime, Neil Druckmann was doing a little bit of some press runs for The Last of Us Season 2. And when asked if Joel did the right thing in Last of Us 1, no spoilers for Last of Us 1. Okay, none. But was he right or was he wrong? Neil Druckmann says, Joel was right. If I were in Joel's position, I would hope to be able to do what he did to save my... Ooh, you see that? I beeped it out.
Why'd you bleep it out? It's been like 12 years.
No, that's not how the internet works.
There's an HBO show.
Exactly. Listen, someone could be coming in for hyped off the HBO show, you know? So was Joel right? Yay or nay? We're bringing it back one last time. Light, was Joel right?
As a parent, I would say yes. I would not be sacrificing my child for something that I didn't know was going to be the cure. On a random offshoot chance that there's potentially going to be a cure, knowing that it's absolutely going to kill my kid, not happening. Not happening.
Kyle Stevenson?
I 1000% agree, and I've been on that train from the beginning. It's very interesting to hear the people on the other side from Light and I when it comes to it, because more often times than not, I'm not saying this is the case for everybody, obviously, but those that have little ones in their life that they care for seem to lean towards like, yeah, I'd do the same thing Joel did. You do anything for those little ones. So it's interesting to see kind of like where that splits down the middle kind of thing.
Okay. But I think he does the wrong thing for the right reason. I think he does do something wrong, but it's not for the reason that people think. I think in terms of like searching for a cure, I think even as you're reading the notes, it's like, oh, there's a lot of hopeful optimism here for this to happen. There's a lot of like, you know, jumping to conclusions, seeing if things would actually maybe happen this way. But you have just a few test subjects. And how do you carry out this cure? It's just like there's so much logistical issues with that idea that I can't really get behind of saying, oh yeah, that's realistic and what he did was wrong. And also the way he carries out doing that thing, I think makes him the bad guy.
Sure. I love Chad as well, who are like, yeah, no, Kyle, you're wrong. And I generally do love this conversation because it is, it just shows just how meaningful the ending of 1 is and the whole story, or part 2 as well. Like, there is no clear cut answer.
Yeah.
Like I can understand completely, and I like having that kind of like very civil debate about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that too. That said, can you guys hear anyone yelling outside? Someone outside? Okay, you can't hear anything being picked up. It's loud on my end. I can't wait to be distracted all night by the loudest neighbors in the world having the loudest conversation. Apparently wants me to hear and know all about it. All right, gang, let's get into becoming the Nintendo Nook and embracing our Nintendo ways. I'm wearing, look at this, a Super Mario shirt for the occasion. Okay? It's got Mario, it's got Yoshi, it's got Luigi, the cool one. Bowser, Waluigi. Hmm? All right. That's it. We got a little bit of housekeeping. Hey, we got merch too, and we got shirts as well. Head on over to the Trophy Room merch store, link in the description. Of course, our Patreon pitch. We are trying to save enough bucks to go to PAX East and Summer Game Fest. And let me tell you guys, it's coming down to the wire. We can use all your help to go over to patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Help support the show and also get hundreds of hours of bonus content for doing so. So many post shows, so many after shows, lively discussions with our community can all be found at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. I want to thank our newest member, Matt Velez at the gold tier. I want to thank our premium producers, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our platinum members, JC, Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy, Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Ryuko Kill 90, Stephen Flesh, Droobles and Bits, Aaron, Bertos Maximos, Tommy, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Silcanet, Decimine, Mitchell Gramling, Mike Thomas, and the Enchanted Goat. Our gold members, Cypher Primus, Doth, Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hyde Indoors, Katie, Kevin Diaz, Kevin Mitchell, Marcus O'Neill, The Red Arrow, Aegis Hermit, Androsaur, Astronaut Jr., The Winter Gamer, Sting Ray X, Robbie Bobby Miller himself, Brenton Zachary, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, Stone Cold E.T., Tino Six Speed, N. Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Solo, Matthew King, Duh Overlord, Dewan A. Raksha, Drellish, Rick Davis, Steph Mildener, Samuel Nestling, Maximum Carnage, Michael Hassett, Jazz and Bren, and the Lord Commander Suddy. Thank you all so much for supporting us on patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Couldn't do it without you folks.
Sorry, I don't have the YouTube members pulled up. Give me a second.
Oh, dare you, the second week in a row? Where do you get the nerve?
Oh, shout out to Tommy, Strubles and Bits, Nisa Hauer, and newest YouTube member, Pops Arcade.
Hey, thank you so much for supporting us the ways you do. We really couldn't do it without y'all. That said, it's time to square up the news. Or in this particular occasion, is it A, up the news because it's the A button's where the square button is on the Nintendo controller? Is that the case? Or is it the Y button? Let's Y up the news.
Oh, let's make the switch.
Oh, this is why they pay you the big bucks, Kyle.
Right. That's right. It's time to switch it up. Let's do it. All right, gang. We're getting into the Nintendo Nook. Okay, we found a way onto the island. Not that island. Tom Nook's Island. Tom Nook's Island. And we're here to react alongside the Nintendo Switch to release date, reveal, and all the games that we can expect from the soon future, near future, to the faraway distant future of 2026 and beyond. And yeah, we're going to chat about the Nintendo Switch too, because listen, this is the king of the consoles, right? As much as we talk about PlayStation versus Xbox, it really is, at the end of the day, the one that sits on top of that pedestal is the Nintendo Switch with over 150 million units. It very much sets the tone for the industry and sets precedents for this industry that people like PlayStation and the rest of the gaming field follow in its footsteps. So that said, we're not going to do a whole breakdown of the Switch that you can find on a Nintendo podcast and all that good stuff. And there's tons of awesome ones out there like the Nintendo Dads you should be listening to. But instead, I want to kind of give a grand overview and kind of show the conversations happening around the Nintendo Switch 2's release or release date reveal. So let's talk about the broad specs of the Nintendo Switch 2. The Nintendo Switch 2 shall launch at an eye-watering price of $450 for the base version and $500 for the edition that comes with Mario Kart Worlds. The battery life of the console is 6.5 hours. It's shorter than the original Nintendo Switch, but bear in mind it's also way more powerful and it's drawing a lot more power because of the better screen and all that doodad. That said, bigger screen. At 7.9 inches, it can go up to 120 FPS display, which is pretty nice. And also, I find like they did a better job representing what that means than PlayStation or Xbox ever has. Like, it shows you a still of Mario and the frames between the original Switch and the new Switch, too. Nintendo Switch games will cost $80 digital. Some. That one of them, Donkey Kong, what is it?
Bonanza.
Donkey Kong Bonanza. There you go. These names is a $70 game. But again, it looks like for the most part, $80 digital, $90 physical. One of the excuses is that these cartridges are a lot more expensive to make, and because they need that high speed, these are more capable cartridges. So that's why it's more expensive. These are some of the new and exclusive games coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. Mario Kart World, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Oh, we're going to talk about that one, you son of a gun. Survival Kids, which the game was so cool it crashed the entire stream for 5 minutes. Arcade Archives 2 Ridge Racer. Fast Fusion, Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD2 Remaster. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, and then some old games, just to name a few: Hogwarts Legacy, Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition, Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4, launching on June 5th, Fortnite, Street Fighter 6, the list goes on, Split Fiction, a lot of pretty impressive games, and also just an impressive lineup of third-party games that are supporting, or third-party partners that are supporting the Switch for the first time. Like, for example, Madden. It's been over 13 years. Madden is making its way over the Nintendo Switch 2. And the launch Switch 2 editions and upgrades available at launch: Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, and Rune Factory Guardians of Zumia.
And
all right.
Kirby.
Sure. Who cares about Kirby?
No, isn't Forgotten Land? Isn't that going to be at launch too? That upgrade?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is what I got.
Kingdom?
I think from this is what I got from IGN.
Yeah,
this is their list.
I could be wrong. Maybe that's out later.
I think it was one of the last ones that they showed.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of information I just dumped on you. I got some questions from the audience. Okay. Ghetto Barry writes in, not interested in the Switch 2, not my cup of tea, but it'll be interesting to see if raising the game prices to $80-$90 physical would set a watermark for other publishers to follow suit. The one that everybody is talking about, will they follow suit, is GTA 6. That's been long rumored to be one of the first games that crack possibly $100. Some analysts are coming out there saying that they can charge and get away with, because it is GTA after all. So I bring this question over to Kyle Stevenson first.
Me?
One of the biggest things about the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal after the fact, no matter if you love the presentation or you didn't like the presentation, didn't vibe with you, is how expensive this console is. Like, okay, I get it. PS5 came out a few years ago, all that jazz, tariffs and all this stuff, the cost of games going up, all this jazz. $450 for the base version of the Nintendo Switch. Alongside the Joy-Cons are $90. The new Joy-Cons alongside like comparatively to that of like the PlayStation or even the Xbox controllers, which they range from like a special edition PlayStation controller, like the Helldivers one that still hasn't come in yet. Shake my fist. $85, right? So just the basic Joy-Cons nearing $100. I want to know what your thoughts on this, Kyle, because this has been the big moment here. And $90 physical is, I don't know, sounds nuts. What's your take?
I think this is my biggest disappointment of the Direct today, is the fact that I'm going to try not to be as salty as I was brewing around today, just living in it. I really don't like how they unveiled all the prices and the way they did it. Like,
How so?
why not do it on the show? Maybe not the games, but why not put the price of the console during the show? It was a weird thing, and then they let the public find out after the fact through different ways, and people have to... It felt like a giant, like, scavenger hunt to figure out what's true and what's not. Like, I wasn't... I didn't love the way they rolled that information out there.
Okay.
But when it comes to, like, the prices of the games, and, like, the price tag for the Switch 2 hardware itself, I understand it, right? Like, it's 4K, it's 120 frames. A little bummed it's not an OLED screen, but there's obviously going to be a Switch 2 OLED version, like, in a year or two, which sucks. There'll be a Switch 2 Lite version that will probably have that too. So, like, it's just Nintendo being Nintendo in that front, but I understand the hardware price, and it's fine. Like, it's a beefier Nintendo Switch, which is what we all wanted. So I'm fine with that. But when it comes to the games, the fact that some digital games are 80, right? Like a Wario just tweeted out the pre-order listing at Target for some of these games. Mario Party Jamboree is 80. Tears of the Kingdom is 80. Breath of the Wild is 70. Kirby is 80. Bravely Default is 40. Mario Kart is 80. Donkey Kong is 70. Like, they're all over the place. And there's no standard thing, which I find weird. And if it's the case that you're going to charge extra for physical, that, like, makes sense to me because it is a dying thing and a more of a niche thing nowadays, which hurts my soul. Yeah. But to make the digital thing raise that up for, I don't know, reasons is weird.
I mean, I'm...
It's almost like they're pushing people, and this isn't an original thing. I heard Andy Cortez talk about it during the live react. Please. It's almost like they're pushing... They set Mario Kart World at 80 to be like, oh, just buy the bundle. It's $50 off. Mm-hmm. Where in reality, the game probably should be in the $50, $60 range anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, it's weird. It's just, I don't love how they're doing it all. And it's just, it's a bummer. And this is another thought I saw in Blue Sky afterwards, and I forgot to look up the users, so my apologies. It almost feels like I'm afraid I'm going to be priced out of the hobby I love. Because right now, I have to second triple guess when I buy a game, because they're already very expensive. Right. So the fact that they're going up even more, let alone in other countries, where the price will also increase even more, which is nuts. I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to buy and play as many games as I usually do.
Well, and then too... Sorry. I was just going to say, and then too, that's not even including taxes. And then that's not including, we don't know what's happening with the tariffs. Like, we know they're rolling out, but we don't know how that's going to impact. We can assume 10%. That's typically the number that we're hearing thrown out in terms of price increases on our end for things, but we don't know. So that's without any of that additional stuff. So at the end of the day, you're looking at over $100 for a game. And that's scary. I know that has happened before, that gaming used to be expensive and then it kind of went cheaper for the masses with the consoles. But it is scary. And for someone like me, I'm not a huge Nintendo person. I got a Switch Lite and I got Animal Crossing because I really wanted to play Animal Crossing. And I have played, the occasional Mario game or like The Sims on my Game Boy Color. I'm not a huge Nintendo person, but seeing these prices, I don't necessarily want to get into Nintendo now either. Whereas if those, like, I'm okay with the console price. I understand consoles are expensive to make now. Like you said, there's a lot of technology in there. But in terms of these individual games, I don't want to spend $90 on something I'm not necessarily sure I'm gonna love. Like I do enjoy some platformers. I don't enjoy all platformers. So as someone who's kind of a borderline Nintendo person, this is absolutely pushing me out of the market because I'm not gonna spend $90 to try a game. Like for example, on my Switch Lite, I got Kirby and the Forgotten Land because I was like, oh, this looks cute. I might like it. And I think I think that was like 60 or something when I got it. And I was like, okay, that's enough money where if I don't like it, it's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. But I'm not going to do that at 90. That's not a risk I can take because then again, after taxes, after everything, we're looking at over $100. I'm not risking $100 on something I'm going to put 2 hours in and realize it's not my cup of tea. So I'll be curious to see how it impacts anybody that's border, but do they really care about that? Because there is such a diehard fan base. I don't know. They might not necessarily care about the people like me.
Two really quick things, Joe. I apologize.
Go for it, please. No, because I'm going to be talking a lot.
Another thing with the pricing that I'm upset that they didn't say in the show, it's like you're making some great points as to why you should upgrade these older titles like Kirby and Zelda, whatever. But what's that gonna cost? How much is the upgrade pack? Like we see.
So they never put out the.
Not that I'm aware of. So there's some people online that have theorized that it's $10 for the upgraded base version, but if you want
that's not bad. I will say that.
That's the PlayStation thing, and it's cool.
Right.
But some people are thinking that it might be $20 if you want the new content as well as the new Switch 2 editions. So just the fact that these questions are out there proves that like Nintendo didn't do a great job of explaining like very clearly what the upgrade path is and how they're going to get it. Like I understand you're going to charge $10. I think is fine because we here and Trophy Room and PlayStation people, that's been the norm and that's fine. I think that's a very acceptable thing to pay. But before you go into it, Joe, the second thing is friend of the show Jacob McCourt. If all these tariffs are the way they seem to be, and if Nintendo is using Vietnam to make consoles, it would cost us here in America $728 to get a Switch 2 with tariffs and everything on it. So that's hefty.
That's
which is
just
sad. Which goes to like, I'm not gonna have money to play games, or buy new consoles, which makes me sad.
And it's kind of like the American audience is getting introduced to the Canadian
$1,000,000%
prices of games,
and that's
we
not
don't
confirmed
like
or anything yet, but that is a possibility that could happen. It just it's bonkers.
And so first off, I do want to say Pop's Arcade comes in and they kind of echo Light's original point where it's like, hey, games back in the day used to be $70. What was $70 in the US during the 90s? Really goddamn expensive, right? Due to inflation and all that stuff of what prices are today. So like
counterpoint, the only way you can get games is physical. So part of that price was making the physical games.
Right.
So now if we're upping the digital only price, that to me is crazy.
Yeah. But even to that end, it's like, but the market has been introduced, or not introduced, the marketplace has been acquainted with the idea of like, games could be various different prices, but look at some of the most popular games out there. They are the cheaper end version of things. Like Fortnite is literally free, right? Warzone is literally free. The barrier to entry of these games like Lethal Company is fairly small. Among Us is literally dollars, right? Vampire Survivors, dollars. Playing Hindenburg, $30 right now. It's a great game. So like the prices of things, like for example, Hollow Knight, I got that for what, like $20-25. So, I love the idea of these companies exploring the scale of what's acceptable in the market. Now it's up to the market to say, okay, $90 is pushing it a little bit too far. Now, Kyle Stevenson, I'll throw this over to you for just a quick second. I would say that we're all full of crud here at the PlayStation podcast, seeing the Nintendo increase. Sorry, the Nintendo, like my dad. The goddamn Nintendo machines
The
that's playing the
Nintendo
Xbox
machines
games.
over there.
Bitch. So
Why do you
stupid.
need a new Nintendo? You have a Nintendo.
What do you mean it plays the new Mario? Can't you play the new Mario on the old PlayStation? Shit, I'm so dumb. But PlayStation 5 raised the prices of games to $70.
Yeah.
So why does it feel gross that Nintendo is doing it now? Is it just because it's more than $70? Because like to me, I think it's icky now because I just got acquainted to $70, and now it already seems like nope, boom, it's up $20 now. It's like whoa. I just got used to $70.
That is where my issue with it is we just got that price hike.
Yeah.
And I was sort of getting used to it. So getting it again. And then on top of it, if I wanted physical is another hike on top, makes it worse.
And to be fair, I feel like a lot of people had negative things to say over the price hike to 70 too.
1,000,000%
So it's not like we were silent about the $70 price hike. We understood it because it had been so long since there was a price hike, but we weren't happy with it. And we had said even back then, what is the ceiling? Where is it going to stop? At what point is enough in terms of how much these games cost? And now, Kyle, like you said, not even a full generation later, we're already bumping up $20 more, and that it's just a lot. It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money.
I mean, Stone Cold ET writes in the live chat going, "I was 100% in after the direct and learning the console pricing, but I think I'm out because of the game pricing, knowing that they aren't going to discount them much / often." It's the other thing with Nintendo. It's actually something I was talking about over on the XEP community show, which is just like, hey, Nintendo, they're known to drop their price more than I think us gamers give them credit for, but it's never permanent. It's not something that like, oh, Breath of the Wild is now $40 permanently. It's like, no, there's a special spring sale and it's $40. Go and get it. But we're going to jack these prices back up once we know.
And you have exactly 44 hours to get it.
Exactly. That said, J Mavs writes in, and maybe we hit this, I don't know. But so now that the Switch games are going to be
really quickly to answer Ghetto Berry's second part. Do we think GTA 6 is going to hit the $100 mark?
I think this gives them carte blanche too.
Right?
What say you like?
Listen, I want to have more faith in a corporation. I want to say Rockstar wouldn't do me dirty like that. I want to say Rockstar knows they're going to make a lot of money on online and they don't need to make it $100. But also capitalism. So I don't know.
Like real talk.
I genuinely don't know.
The only thing maybe stopping that from happening is the tariff situation and how bad that's going to hit them. So it's like it's a tough pill to swallow either way, but I think Nintendo definitely gave Take-Two a weigh-in for that $100 price tag. That said, back to Jave Mavs, that Switch games are going to be $80 digital and $90 physical. How worried are we for the future of pricing of games? I think that $90 for a cartridge is a little insane, and we are in for a rude awakening. So do we think by the end of the year, we're going to see PlayStation games hit $80 to $90 too? Like, does this give the whole industry the idea of like, okay, Nintendo says it's $80, it's $80 now? Y'all, Stevenson?
Probably. And that makes me sad. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, or anyone watching after the fact, I feel like the first inkling we heard of the $70 price tag was from 2K. With like NBA 2K with PS5. So it's even weirder to see the first party Nintendo be the one to be like, yeah, they're going to go up even further. So like this isn't even a third party publisher or anything. This is like Nintendo doing it. So again, that just makes me think, yeah, GTA 6 is it's going to be probably crazy.
I think our only saving grace will be if it doesn't go the way Nintendo thinks it's going to go, and there is less buyer turnout because of the prices, which I doubt at the beginning because I think you have the diehards that are going to buy it. So I don't think we will see that. But if some reason we do, because people just can't afford that price point for the $90, maybe then we see other companies being like, "Ooh, wait, maybe we shouldn't do that yet," and kind of let Nintendo test the waters. But if it goes well and they are not noticing a loss or a decrease, then absolutely everybody is going to follow suit, and I don't like that.
They definitely picked the right game to do it with too. Everyone is going to want to get Mario Kart.
That's the reason why Donkey Kong 70 and this game's 80. There's a reason they could totally get away with it on Mario Kart and not Donkey Kong. That said, Janet Garcia wrote on Blue Sky, and I want to give her credit for this. She's on MinMax and the Indie Council. She writes, "Today is a good day to start saving up for a PlayStation 6, Switch 3, and Xbox Infinity, because I've never saved for a next gen, and now I'm giving Nintendo $500. Like, I think this, we're never going to see a console be $400 again. I think this is the last generation for that. Does this give, like, if the Nintendo Switch 2 is $450, and listen, yeah, the specs are impressive enough. I literally paid $500 for a Steam Deck that is like, you know, now a little bit less powerful than this. So I get it. The market for it is different, and they are the kings of this market. They get to name the price. But next PlayStation, next Xbox, where do you think their line is, T? Where do you think the next PlayStation 6? The year is 2028. We are in floating chairs, flying cars. The world's our oyster. Jaws 7 just came out. Holograms. What do you think?
We're getting all that in a couple of years.
Yep. The Cubbies are in the World Series.
Oh God. I don't think under 500.
Yeah. Kyle Stevens,
and that's snowballing it. I mean, yeah.
I'm laughing because you were so proud making a baseball reference, and I'm pretty sure you don't know that the Cubs have won a World Series in the last 10 years.
I was making jokes on you, you son of a gun. I was making a Back to the Future
I
reference.
know what you were making. I knew it.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think PlayStation 6, I'm going to be hopeful. I'm going to be the hopeful optimist. $599.
Sure.
Kyle Stevenson, what say you?
Sure. But, like, this is the problem with saying that, and shout out to Pragmatic Eagle for the super chats. We'll get to them in a second.
Yes. Oh, please, yes.
The issue with, like, these console prices is it's not just that, right? Like, you have tax on top of it. So, like, the 500 bundle is probably going to come to, what, $540 here in the States with tax?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to need to get a specific memory card that you can't transfer over from the Switch 1. And sure. I believe if you want a decent one of that kind, it's like $60. All right, so we're over 600. You want a game outside of Mario Kart? There's another $60-$70.
Sure.
So we're all close to 700. If you want the camera, if you want, I don't know why you would. That's probably another $50-$60.
No,
you want the Pro controller? I believe that's $80. So, like,
you want the game that teaches you everything about your console?
That's $100 right there. Like, even if they charge $1 for it, we'll get into it. That's too much. Yeah. But, like, it's already growing exponentially to the fact that it's, again, going back to the Blue Sky post, and it made me feel things. It's like, am I gonna get priced out of my own hobby that I love so very much?
Yeah,
it sucks.
I mean, Pragmatic Eagle sends in 2 amazing super chats. Thank you so much. Like, you can't do one with the $5 super chat. He writes, "With that being said, shout out to the best PlayStation podcast on YouTube. Thank you. Salute to you, ma'am and sirs. Keep being great and be at peace." Oh, I'm trying. There's a war eternally raging. Pragmatic Eagle yet again writes with the $10 super chat, "Unfortunately, too many people put these corporations on pedestals. God bless. They are gonna overcharge y'all, and y'all are gonna take it because they know you'll choose to have. Sorry, you'll choose to have FOMO.
Yeah, so to Light's point earlier, it doesn't matter what they price it at. They're going to be diehards that will get it no matter what.
Exactly.
Like, let's be real. Who actually wants an
me.
Alarmo? Right? Nobody.
Right.
But people bought the Alarmo in droves.
That's right.
They're going to buy it.
It makes no sense. You know, all right, let's again, I understand the hardware price. That was my limit.
Yeah.
I think anybody who was thinking 300 lived in a land where inflation didn't blow up the way it is and corporate greed didn't take over the way it has. That said, I wrote this is my notes. Inflation D's nuts. This shit sucks butts. Real journalism by me. And then I talk about how they spent literally 5 minutes, 7, I think. They talked about we have Discord that feels a whole lot like Zoom at home.
Here's the thing, Joe.
What the?
Here's the thing. So this is the game chat feature. This is the C button on the controllers and the system. I kind of like this because they were very honest about it. Those videos that were being shared were framey as hell. They are not sugarcoating it. They're like, all right, listen, this is kind of the quality we're going to get. So I appreciate that from them, 1,000%.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why it's funny, it's to us, is because I feel like we would never use it.
No.
I could totally see though my girls playing it though, using it. I would be super excited to do a Mario Party with the little camera and have our face in the game as we're playing together. I think that's really, really fun. The sharing the game for friends that don't own the game and being able to play multiplayer stuff, that's super cool. I love that. But like, you know, it's this was the thing where it's like Nintendo's still a little bit behind. It's like they had this idea during the pandemic.
Yep.
And now it's finally coming to fruition now.
Yeah. Right when Zoom is I'm sorry, go for it.
Pops Arcade brings up a good point too. I'm not paying a subscription to chat when there's Discord on my phone. That's exactly my thing. You have to have a Nintendo Online subscription in order to use those features, which again is another fee. I already couldn't justify paying that. I paid for it for like 2 months when I had my Animal Crossing so I could download some I think they had like their DLC. If you had online, you got the DLC for free or whatever. I don't know. And I had to stop paying it because I was like, I can't justify this because, again, as someone who's not a huge Nintendo gamer, it just didn't make sense for me to have an online subscription for that. So now that's another fee if you want to use that. And I think the people who would use that don't necessarily need the online services. So I understand why they want you to have the online services in order to use it. I get that, obviously. But again, it's another fee and possibly a feature people aren't going to use because the people that are going to use it aren't necessarily going to need that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, 100%. And again, it looks like they're using Skype's technology. Rip Skype. Okay, here's the next one. We'll rip through this.
Really quick about this one. Did anyone else laugh out loud when they were showing off the built-in mic in Switch 2? And they're like, oh, even if some guy behind you is using a blender, they're going to hear you just fine. No, they're not. There's no way that mic is going to filter out the blender behind you. There's no way.
You just showed me someone streaming, and I'm using that in air quotes, streaming in like 2p. You're not telling me. I'm hearing the blender, goddammit. All right. There's a new From Software game. This blew my mind. Kyle, this is how From Software pilled I am. I knew immediately from the hand touching the other hand that was a From Software game. Fucking knew it. That said, the game is called Duskbloods. It's coming exclusively to the Nintendo Switch 2. This is crazy that this studio goes, we just made a game that 26 million people bought. And now we're making an exclusive game for the Nintendo Switch 2. Understand how much we've been begging for Bloodborne, and the excuse that we've been hearing is, oh, From Software is just too busy on bigger projects now. This was the bigger project? Are you kidding? How much money did the Nintendo team drop on From Software or Kodakawa that made them go, this is the game? And also, it's a PvPvE game.
Has that been confirmed?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Because I have not heard that.
I don't know, online games. I got this from GameSpot.
Okay.
Go yell at Cat Bailey.
I know. I would never. I know on April 4th, I think Miyazaki's doing like a thing on the Nintendo news site or something.
Fucking sucks.
So,
Marvel vs. Capcom 3 stuck on there, man. Stone Cold ET wounds me by saying Joe finally got Bloodborne 2, but it's a Switch exclusive.
the audacity, by the way, of being like what, a few weeks away from the 10-year anniversary of Bloodborne, and then to give us a From Software game where they, I don't know, within 30 seconds mentioned blood and wounds, and then the first image looks like Yarnum. So I had to stop watching the direct to go to a client meeting, so I didn't get to see this live. So after the meeting, Mike was like, "All right, Kyle, let me know when you're done. I have something to show you. Don't look at anything, whatever." And he plays this, and he was just staring at me the whole time. And the moment I heard the character say something about blood, I was like, why does this look like Bloodborne? What's going on here? And then Mike was silent, and then it just kept going. And then From Software came on the screen, was like, holy shit, why is this like Bloodborne? And then you saw the church, the Yarnum graveyard looking thing. I'm like, why does this look like Bloodborne? What's going on? And then the audacity still should then have blood in the title. I'm like, whoa, From Software, Miyazaki, what are you doing? And it's also weird because of how much shares Sony has in Katakawa and From Software.
Yes.
So technically they're helping make this a Switch 2 exclusive in some way, shape, or form. I mean, it's probably will come to PlayStation a year or two after Switch.
Probably not. Remember that deal with Sony.
Yeah,
that deal happened in December. So this game long before that. Yeah.
Don't they also have another game coming out on consoles?
Night Rain.
Like on PlayStation?
Yeah, technically they have Night Rain coming out, but that is a Bandai first game and it's From Software game. So like it's Bandai leading it and From Software supporting it. Yeah.
I was gonna say where are they getting the time to do all these games? Like,
is this the game that the Armored Core team hopped on, or is this another team?
No, this is Miyazaki himself.
Okay, so after Elden Ring, he was like, "All right, we're doing Duskbloods."
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Nothing like a single player studio doing multiplayer that's known for doing multiplayer way too obscurely and not right. So.
And yeah, I didn't get my Animal Crossing.
We got Duskbloods.
So sad.
Hey, they tried to make Astrobot out of an instruction manual. Stefano writes, also, why is the introductory tech demo a paid game? If you guys don't know, they tried to make a game where you're inside a Nintendo Switch 2, and they made it look like SimCity from the SNES.
Well, here's the thing. I thought it looked cool.
I'm going to say cuss. Fuck Kyle.
I thought it looked cool. It was a cool way to show off the Switch 2. And then they said this will be a standalone paid thing. I was like, well, I'm never going to get that. Ever. I don't care how much extra money it is. I don't care.
Why don't you switch all over again?
Should have been built in with the system like Astrobot. It's right there. I don't understand.
I don't know, man. And then I uttered words I never thought I'd ever say. Donkey Kong looks pretty good. That looks cool. That actually looks good. Congrats, you made a Donkey Kong game look interesting to me. And then here's from the previous Nintendo Direct. Okay? Well, sorry. This one's still from this Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrad coming to Nintendo Switch 2. I was going to say PlayStation 2. Jesus. Awesome. Cool. It's coming more places. Fanboys get over it. Patapon 1 and 2 replay. This comes from the last Nintendo Switch Direct last week. Formerly Japan Studio, now Bandai Namco is developing and publishing. It's coming out on July 11th. And then Everybody Golf's Hot Shots, formerly also Japan Studio, now Bandai Namco, releasing sometime in 2025. Release date is unknown. cool to see. And we talked about this a while back, like only 2 weeks ago. PlayStation talking about licensing their lesser known IP or smaller IP or dormant IP to other publishers and developers. And yeah, Patapon and Everybody Golf's coming also to PC as well. So
and PlayStation as well. It's still coming
and
to
PlayStation as well.
So we're good.
Just everywhere but Xbox. Damn, that sucks. It really, because like, listen, at this point, dude, the war's over.
Yeah.
You can get. They're giving us. They're gonna give us Halo and Gears. We can lend out Patapon. Forza's coming out next week. We could give them Everybody Golfs, a game that I'm gonna be honest, I've never played in my life.
You've never played
All
golf?
No, I don't like golf games.
Like you neither?
I don't think so.
They're fun. They're not like traditional golf games. They're more arcadey.
Okay.
Like they have power ups. Like there's like a tornado that will help bring the ball closer to the hole. It's fun. It's a good time.
Okay, cool. Andrew Hill writes in, "Hello, Trophy Room. My question was, what was your favorite feature and game that they showed off at the Direct?" That said, before we answer, here's some of our audience's thoughts on the Direct. All I gotta say is this comes from Cowboy Danger D, who writes, "Expensive video games are absolutely going to stay the new norm. Anyway, that was a 10 out of 10 presentation. See that, Sony? That's how you do a damned presentation. Also, people clown on Nintendo News app. It's better than the Sony blog. Truthfully, Cowboy Danger D, that's a hot take that I agree with the end part. Better than the blog." Stefano writes, "I want to be more excited for the Switch 2 than I actually am. The higher game prices left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm scared that this has opened the floodgate for other publishers to raise their prices on all platforms. Mario Kart 8 looks cool, but I don't know if it's enough to spend as much as a PS5 just to play it. Also, maybe it's just me, but it felt like a lot of cool things in the show came with some sort of caveat. New Mario Kart, it's $80. Backwards compatibility games, good amount of them have startup / compatibility issues. Better frame rates only applies to a few games and costs an extra fee. I think I'll wait to see how Duskbloods is received next year and then decide if I want to pick it up at that price point." Stefano and I agree.
The frame rates are tied to an extra free?
I think that's part of the upgrade.
Yeah, it's part of the upgrade path.
Oh, for the older games.
For the older games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought they were like the Mario Kart stuff. You have to.
Oh,
I was like, whoa, that's strange. Okay, understood.
That said, Stone Cold ET says, "Regarding the Switch 2 game pricing, I also think it's important to note that the first-party Switch games never really get discounted heavily. We talked a bit about that. Breath of the Wild never really went below $39.99. And for instance, it's still at $59.99. I'm curious to hear what y'all think this will continue." And yes, we did. We talked all about that. So, okay, out of a scale of 1 to 10, what do we rate this presentation? We're Sony fanboys and we're reacting shocked emoji for the thumbnail.
And also to answer Andrew's question about feature and game. Feature, I'm just glad they figured out what HDR and 4K is. That's my favorite.
Sure.
As far as game, it's Mario Kart with Donkey Kong as a close second. Duskbloods too. Like it's a 3-headed race in my case. As far as like giving it a score out of 10, I'd say an 8.
Okay.
Still good.
Still good.
But like Silkanet says in chat, the audio is all synced off. Like
it was a mess.
It froze.
There was over like 1.5 million people watching.
Yeah. So from
a
digital presentation thing, I give it an 8. But there's a lot in there to be excited for.
Yeah. Especially like give the caveat of like, yes, I've played Cyberpunk 2077. This isn't for me. Exactly. It's for the Nintendo fans.
There's a lot of things in here that we've either already played or we already know about, kind of thing.
Yep.
Just because they're older games.
Like, what say you? What would you give this?
I think I would agree with the 8. if I'm being honest, I was kind of falling asleep through it, but I think I
You're
do
also
like how
sick through
they yeah, I do like how they balanced it. I think there was a really good balance of like talking heads and then showing things and then talking heads and then showing things. And I thought that was really well done. I was getting real frustrated with the tech issues though. My audio was not synced the entire time and then it froze and then it was like, I don't know if that's my internet. I don't know if that's them. I went into everybody else's streams and was like, oh no, that's a them problem. So, those things aside, I do like how they kind of balanced how they showed everything. Um, in terms of my favorite feature, I do really like that they have the game share feature, like we have seen with like Split Fiction and It Takes Two and things like that. I do think that's really nice. The fact that one person can own it and share it with three other people, I think that's, especially when we're talking about the increased prices, I think that's really a nice feature to have.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the game that I'm most excited for, again, not a huge Nintendo person. The game that I really wanted to see was Animal Crossing, which we didn't get, because that's really the only Nintendo game I actually play. But I did think that the Mario Kart world looked really intriguing. I liked the fact that they're like, okay, you can literally go from this course all the way. You're just driving the whole world all the way to this course. You can go off-roading. You don't have to stay on the course. You can explore. You can do this. I thought that was a really cool take on Mario Kart and a nice evolution of the franchise. So I am definitely intrigued about that one.
Y'all are being way nicer than me. Now, okay, given this is like I was watching at work, it was very loud. I didn't know about the sync issues because I was literally playing this shit on mute and just watching.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things in there that I'm excited for. IOI, I love them to death. They're making a James Bond game, reminding me that it exists. I'm so in. God
Mhm.
bless them. Donkey Kong looks great, but then there are so many missing details here on purpose. There's so many pricings of things that we don't know about because they're going to leave that for their version of the blog. It's really annoying. And I think some of the things that there's too many caveats that they left hidden. Like, again, like Dust Bloods being a PvPe game. That really bums me out. They're my favorite developer. Of course, listen, I don't think these tariffs are going to last long. I think they go away by the time 2026 happens. Okay. You're probably going to be the dumb idiot that buys it because I love From Software that much and I'm dumb, not smart. But I'm like, damn, that's not the game that we've talked about it to death that I would like them to make. But if that's the game they want to make, fine. But I don't have to be excited about it. Gosh darn it. I give this a 5. I thought it was incredibly mediocre. Incredibly mediocre. I mean, even like Mario Kart's like, dude, it's Mario Kart. I've seen like there were just because you could go off track and you could watch a cow run in a field. It's like, okay, you put free roam. I don't see every other racing game has this already. I don't get it how this is distinguishing itself from the it seems like you're playing catch up to things like Forza Horizon, where it's like the thing that makes Mario Kart so special is that it does something crazy and wacky that no one's thinking about. And they master their kart racers there. It seems like they just, I don't know, they took ideas from something else, but it was something a whole lot less exciting.
To that point,
Yes.
Joe, I'm excited for the Mario Kart Direct itself in a few weeks.
And I think that'll give
I think
more
that'll help you
clarity.
out a little bit on that one because like they barely touched on like you can wall drive on this one and
Right,
like
like, those are-
grind and stuff.
yeah.
Like there's stuff there that's interesting that they could have expanded on a bit more afterwards. But the fact that
Sure.
we're getting a Focus Direct on April 17th, we'll probably learn.
But I could
way
also
more.
say if you're like a Nintendo fan,
Oh yeah.
oh my God, like, yeah, you're
yeah.
up there with Kyle, you're up there with Light. If
Yeah.
you've never played Cyberpunk, like, dude, like
Absolutely.
seeing the support from third party is great. But I also know the realistic the reality of it is that yeah, there's gonna be support now, and then by the time PS6 or whatever comes out, the support's gonna trickle and die out. Just they did it was the same with the original Switch. It's gonna be the same with the Switch too. The first few years are gonna be great, and then the tech can't catch up to what's out there, and devs stop supporting it because the attach rate slowly loses its luster for the bigger AAA stuff. So
Also, bummer, no solid Metroid Prime 4 date.
yeah,
Could have sworn we were going to get that on this show.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait on Metroid is the craziest thing I think have said in months. It looks so good too. That's the thing. Maybe I buy the game to support them,
Sure.
and then I just wait on the because you know how Metroid doesn't sell historically incredibly well.
Mhm.
So I want to hope I can.
Half joking question.
Sure.
But it's Nintendo, so they probably have something planned.
Go for it.
Are we getting a Nintendo themed like lap pad for the mouse functionality? Like I joked around today during a work meeting, like, are they gonna sell me like a snack table, a Nintendo themed snack table to have next to me, so I could do the?
It
mouse
would not
stuff?
surprise me.
Right?
It would not surprise me.
You're out of control this episode, Kyle. I love you're like, oh, I don't have a lot of energy this episode. You're coming out with some of the wacky shit I've ever heard. I love this. Yeah, no, 100%.
If you don't game at a desk like this, what am I gonna sit there on my stomach and use the mouse
on your
like
leg?
that? Exactly, on my leg.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that's true.
Shout out to what's it called? Drag and Drive, the wheelchair basketball game. I thought that was a fun thing. Not something I will get, but I love seeing wheelchair,
Sure.
abled people get represented in a game. That's cool.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me with like the mouse functionality and whatnot, but it's very clearly is like the Switch 2 version of ARMS, or like once you switch, just kind of show off the tech in a way. But yeah, it's cool.
I thought that game looked like shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. It looked real bad to me.
Yeah.
But all right.
Pro controller, back paddles.
That's really cool. And it's $80, I think. 80, $90.
The Joy-Cons are more because of the mouse stuff, probably.
But it's like, okay, back paddle. That's awesome. Like, that's legit. That's really cool. And it's going to be priced better than like the Elite or the Edge. So that's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gang. This next bit of news is also rough. It's also breaking news as it's happening. As we say, it's always these big episodes that I know is going to get a lot of traffic, that something in the world invades video games. I'm not an expert on all things. I love video games. I want to talk about video games. That's why I made a video game podcast. Sometimes the real world rears its ugly head into video games and affects it in a major way. That's why we talk about some real world stuff from time to time. But I want to give you guys who says, you know what? World sucks, just want an escape, and out. So here's a moment in time. You get to skip it in the description. Live viewers, sorry, you're in here
Mute
with
for
me.
a minute.
Mute for about 10 minutes as we shout at the clouds. But for those watching in their cars, timestamp right there. You can skip to us, talk about Xbox or something. I don't know. We're gonna get into the green room in a minute. I know that for sure. All right, you had enough time. Kyle Stevenson, would you like to read this story here?
Mike Straw over at Insider Gaming writes, price increases for game consoles and PC parts likely in the United States. If you are a citizen of the United States, you may want to get ready to see the price increase on your game consoles, PC parts, and other electronic devices in the coming weeks and months. The United States government has announced a 25% tariff on all computer imports as of April 2nd, which, spoiler alert, is the day we are recording. These imports include all laptops, desktop parts and components, and likely video game consoles. As of publishing, it's uncertain how and when prices could be impacted by the tariff announcement. Video game hardware sales in the United States have regularly fallen over the last year. With the likelihood of the increased costs being passed down to American consumer, it could be expected to see spending continue to fall. Where many could see a higher cost is with the Nintendo Switch 2. The Switch 2 is slated to have a price of $449.99 in the United States. However, the United States government enacted a 46% tariff on all products in from Vietnam, where Switch 2 production is taking place. Those tariffs, on top of the aforementioned 25% ones, could see the latest Nintendo console price increase at some point in the near future. Insider Gaming has reached out to Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Nvidia, Intel, AMD, and other major PC and video game hardware companies for comment on what these tariffs could mean for consumers.
So, companies have really two options when faced with tariffs. We've talked about tariffs on the show because, again, sometimes real world invades video games. I'm not going to explain tariffs again. Just know that the company is slabbed with a tax that they have to pay when the shipment from overseas comes over to whatever country it is. Tariffs can come in the various forms of protecting a market, a home market, or it could be that of revenue-based tariff. So what the U.S. was prior to Reconstruction in the 1800s, it was a form of the government to get money to fund things and to do all sorts of stuff with back in the 1800s. Now it's more protectionary to protect, again, certain markets. So, for example, keeping everything, being centrist here, Joe Biden put in a 50% increased tariff on electric cars made outside the United States, made in China, particularly to protect the electric car market here in America. Those things happen. These are nuts. Oh my God. And even seeing like conservative economists come out and going, what that speech was completely incoherent and none of this actually makes any sense, gives me some type of faith that maybe there's going to be some backtracking on this, like there was when he threatened to do it a month ago with Canada and Mexico. That said, we got some questions from our community. Captain Two-Tone writes, I guess the only thing I control is what I buy and when I buy it. Example, no day one buying, wait for a special. Not buying pre-launch. Nobody should. Yeah, man. This is what's going to happen is what economists have been fearing for the past month and a half, which is there are signs that the economy is already slowing down and that consumers are being more reserved about spending money. And now this is going to make people stop spending money. Light, I'll go over to you with this one. With news of games are going to get a lot more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this?
I'm just very grateful to be in the position that I'm in with my job. It is not lost on me how lucky I am that I get a lot of the games that I want to play on the consoles that I want to play for free from these game companies so that I provide coverage or give reviews or things like that. And I am feeling very fortunate for that right now because I don't know. It's like I could easily see myself being priced out of buying all the new games. Now that's just, shows I'm an overconsumer. Clearly. We've seen my background, okay? I have no issue with overconsumption. I like my things. I am the person
Same.
where I would get FOMO and I would buy a game and then I would not, Black Myth Wukong. I had no interest in that game. Everyone was playing that game. I got FOMO. I played it for 2 hours and I haven't played it since. And I did buy that one on my own on my own budget. But if the tariffs impact us the way that we think they're going to, I absolutely will not necessarily be doing that. I will be more strict about what I actually purchase, and that's coming from somebody who gets a lot of the games that I want to play given to me. I will be more strict with, okay, is this a game I actually am very excited for and I want to play? If so, do I have to play it right now? Is this a game that I absolutely need to play for my channel or for work and I'm not getting it gifted? If so, maybe I will buy it right now. But if not, I might wait for a sale. I might wait for until there's nothing else in my backlog that I want to play or something like that. And I can see a lot of people doing that, especially like before I had my channel when I was a teacher. I was essentially paycheck to paycheck already as a teacher just 3 years ago. And I would not be able to afford getting every single game. Right now, if I want to play a game, I buy it and I play it. If it's not gifted to me, I wouldn't have been able to do that. If I were in a different position, I would not be able to do that anymore. I would have to be much more careful with what I was purchasing and what games I was spending my time and my money on.
Kyle Stevenson is someone who works in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
Rumblings about this? Concerns about this from your peers? Cohorts even?
We haven't had a chat about it yet. I'm sure tomorrow. Because the news hit like after the end of the day today. So I'm sure we'll have a chat with it during our morning meeting tomorrow. It just bums me out because, like Light just said, I agree with everything she said, and it applies to me as well. And like most of the games that I'm interested in playing, we don't get codes for. So that's very much like, and that's not saying other games that we get codes for I'm not interested in, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
A lot of that is out of my pocket, and with Bills and the girls and Owen here at the house and making sure they're all good, and like most people out there, the money goes away very quickly. So being able to be a part of a hobby I love so much, that means so much to me, if the prices are going up, it's going to make me really sad, because I am one that does experience really bad FOMO, and I've been better about it, but when it comes to like games I absolutely want to get, I just haven't been getting them just because money's been super, super tight. Like I really want to play Kazan, right? I haven't picked it up yet because I can't pull the trigger, right? There's and that's even like physically too, right? Because those are still pretty up there in price. And something you brought up like triggered a thought of, let's say all these games are increased because of these tariffs and whatnot, and we wait for the sales. The sales are probably going to be just down to what they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me even more sad because there's so many people that have to wait for sales currently on the price just so they can get the games. But if the sale price is what the standard price is now, then we're all fucked. So like it's a really fucky situation, and I'm just sad and depressed, and it sucks. Gaming should be fun and enjoyed by anyone and everyone. And the fact that we're at this stage makes me so sad.
To quote a poet, 2 quotes from this famous poet, same poem. It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked. Everyone sucks. It's all about that he said, she says bullshit. I think you better quit letting shit slip, or you be leaving with a fat lip. Thank you, Mr. Lip Bizkit.
Have you seen a recent picture of Fred Durst? It's wild.
It's wild. It's a wild look.
A giant white afro. It's crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of Fred Durst, the person that was harassing Light, biggest fan. But also on there, do not let this man in the concert vibe. Okay. Yeah, this is dumb. This is stupid. But guys, man, we've all been through this. Maybe I'm looking at it through a different lens and a more optimistic one. Dude, the guy always says he's going to do something big and drastic and crazy and stupid. And then the day happens and he goes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do something big, crazy, nasty, and stupid. It's going to be wild. And then something happens at 0 hour. He does something less stupid, crazy, and drastic. And you go, well, that was a whole lot of us yelling and being panicked for nothing. And this is him essentially, this is his business tactic. Hey, I got the biggest stick. Look at me wave it. Look at me wave this big stick. I'm going to hit you with this stick. And we're seeing that
compensating for something
out
with this big stick.
I'll let you know I'm not compensating. But
just that's my boyfriend, Elon Belon.
That's right. I can't do an Elon accent.
Sorry.
He talks too stupid even for me. But it's just like, that's what's going to happen. He's going to wave his arms around. He's going to keep waving his arms around. And then he's going to see the stock market tank. And then he's going to reverse some things, and he's going to tone it down, but he's going to do it in some type of verbiage that makes him seem like he's still winning. You know, it's, that's what it is. I don't think this thing lasts very long, because this is a dude that, listen, he never ran on, he's going to make things less expensive, but he ran on, hey, this guy that I'm running technically against is, remember, eggs used to be cheaper, and here's a list of all these groceries that have skyrocketed in price thanks to him. Elect me president. And now it's like, hey, I'm president, and now most things are 10% to 46% more expensive, take it or leave it. Even when you take a look at the American car the American car market, right? You take a look at a Ford F-150. The Ford F-150 because it's built in America, doesn't mean it's 100% made in America. Those parts come all over the globe. And so those prices are going to go up. So you're seeing like in the car market, it's totally effed. You're going to see something drastic between the ranges of like $2,000 to like $9,000 more expensive, depending on the car you're looking at for a basic consumer like us. It doesn't make any sense. I think this is going to backfire. And I truly hope in my heart of hearts, by next week, we're talking about, man, look at this funny time we all had when we thought the sky was falling. That's what the conversation I want to have, because I'm choosing to be optimistic. If this guy does this, and our national GDP falls below, like, if the GDP falls at below 4%, the dude fucked. Like the way the market would react to this actually being implemented in the long run isn't sustainable. I understand the argument being made of like, oh, we're going to bring industry from outside back to the States. But man, that idea used to work back in, like, I don't know, 1914, when there wasn't, when we weren't connected. And even when you bring industry into America, let's just say the plan works, the dollar is still the most valued currency out there, right? So it's not like things are going to be less expensive. They're actually going to probably be more expensive. And so the real issue becomes, oh, wait, the issue isn't things being made here or not being made here. The issue is I'm not getting paid as much as I should be getting paid. And that's been the issue that we've had for decades now. When 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and now they're expected to pay 10 to 50% more on things with the hopeful optimism that it gets better in 5 to 10 years. Okay, dude. All right, cool. We're living in fairy tale land. So I'm being optimistic, and I say that this won't last as long as we think it is. Is it still the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life? Absolutely. But you get what you vote for, and I can't.
But Joe, we have to take them seriously. Look at how much money they spent on a poster board for all the tariff percentages on it. That easily cost them $70 at a Office Max.
That's right. We go to Staples. We love Staples. We think Staples is the best. Office Max is woke. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's stupid. Yeah. And like all these companies that thought, oh, like for Nintendo, when talking to investors, literally, I think like last month, they're like, we think we dodged a bullet because Vietnam, we make our stuff in Vietnam, not in China. So I think we dodged a bullet here. And then to see, no, you didn't. Actually, it's even worse. It's nuts. Yeah, games are going to be less expensive. That means people are going to buy less, which means people are going to lose their jobs here. It just, none of it really makes sense. But hey, man, it is what it is at the end of the day. What can we do? That said, we have one last comment and a question from K-Rock.
Do you want me to take this one, Joe, to give you a breather?
Yeah, but it might make you a little. It might make you emotional.
I pre-read it, so I'm okay.
Okay, go for it.
This comes from K-Rock. K-Rock writes in, been a while since I wrote in, as my household got hit with a huge shocker. My 3-year-old son, Cullen, was diagnosed with leukemia in March, and we've been focused on getting him through the initial phase of treatment. It's been tough, but he's a fighter, and gaming has been a huge escape for me during this time. One of the best moments we've had lately is playing Astrobot together. He absolutely loves the soundtrack and will dance around to the songs, which always puts a smile on my face. That said, I wanted to ask about something that's been on my mind lately. The new Trump tariffs and how they have impacted the price of the Switch 2. We know tariffs on Chinese imports have affected tech prices before, but with Nintendo shifting a lot of its production to Vietnam and Cambodia to avoid past tariffs, do these new ones throw a wrench into that strategy? And with some Switch manufacturing also happening in Japan, do you think those tariffs played a role in Nintendo's pricing decisions? Or was this just the natural result of rising costs in the supply chain. Personally, I've decided to hold off on buying as long as I can because I don't want to reward this administration with my tax dollars. At the end of the day, tariffs are just another form of tax, and consumers are the ones who end up paying the price. It's frustrating to see policies like this drive up costs while being framed as something that only impacts companies. Appreciate everything you guys do. Listening to the show has been a great way to take my mind off things when I need a break. Keep up the amazing work. From K-Rock and Cullen. K-Rock, please give Cullen a hug from us. We love you.
Cullen's
got
badass.
this.
You got this, Colin?
Yeah. And again, and that's why when we talk about games, we often forget the also bigger picture of things of like Cullen and their leukemia diagnosis, their treatment and their fight. And those things also get more expensive. And so while we're thinking about how does my video games get impacted, it's like, how did people like Cullen get impacted? And that really, really grinds my gears. Is that we see people the past, God, we're going on 9 years of this bullshit, voting against their own interests. I know someone very close to me that voted for this guy, and I've tried very hard. I'm like, I'm not going to judge you. We all have whatever. And being very happy until it affected them and their job in education got slashed. And they're wondering out of bewilderment, how could this happen to them? That is the thing that angers me. That's that air, that bewilderment, the ignorance of that person thinking it was going to affect everyone else, but not me. I'm good. I was on the right side. That's the stuff that really grinds my gears to a halt. Because it's that affects good people out there like this. Man, it's all of this sucks. Again, and I also say this as we've seen the tactics. We've been over it a bunch. I don't think this lasts very long. And I hope for folks that are in deeper situations than, hey, can I afford this video game? It lasts as short as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Truly. Anything anybody want to say to any of that?
I think you nailed it.
Yep.
And listen to some Limp Bizkit. Really let out that rage.
I still do from time to time. They were like my soundtrack in middle and high school, so
we all indulge.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, let's
I'm upset with you, Joe, about this next one, by the way.
What's that?
You changed the segment name that's iconic from the show.
Oh. Okay. All right, let's go for
I'm
it.
just saying.
All right, gang. All right. First off, wait, there was a joke I wanted to say.
Go for it.
All right, let's never mind. It wouldn't fit. I was gonna try to do the Trump voice one more time. All right, everybody. Timestamp. We got through a tough conversation. Look at us, and we're better for it. It's now time for some flash news. Gotta run fast away from that topic.
Like, you go slow. You go slow.
I'll run slow. I'll catch up.
You know what? Don't even wave your arms. Please stay safe. Introducing a new segment within a segment called Rumor Watch. Patent pending.
Yeah,
There's a lot of rumors.
What happened to Rumor Has It? That's what I was referring to. Rumor Has It. What happened?
You're right. I was stupid.
No, it's not stupid.
I thought there was a lot at once. No, you're right. Rumor Has
It.
Still patent pending. All right. This one's just for you, Light. Oblivion remake could be released tomorrow as this podcast goes live, as it's claimed. This comes from Mike Straw at Insider Gaming. It's only a paragraph long.
Wait, hold on. What was I just saying about not spending my money? Well,
listen,
all my money.
Let's hope it's April 4th, because the worldwide tariffs happen on the 5th. So you're not going back. I said the time code stuff. That said, Oblivion remake stuff. Huh? Tomorrow?
Huh?
Huh? Well, what about this one? Wait for it. Starfield PS5 port should be ready this year. This comes from Carly Garcia at Game Rant. In a new new episode of the Xbox 2+1 podcast, The Verge's Tom Warren revealed that Bethesda may have been planning to release Starfield's PlayStation 5 port alongside 2024's Shattered Space expansion. While this didn't come to pass, Warren claimed that the port has been in the works for a while, and he believes it should be releasing alongside the game's next expansion later in 2025. While this hasn't been confirmed by the studio, recent updates from Bethesda Creator Kit also implied that the PS5 release is incoming, though many wonder how such a port will perform overall. Okay, Light, you are presented with two options.
Yeah.
Oblivion Remake,
Mm-hmm.
Starfield PS5 port.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you take?
Oblivion Remake. Just because I have Starfield on my Xbox.
Fair enough. Here you go.
But one of the perks of being both consoles is I have Starfield. I don't I wouldn't mind getting the platinum on Starfield on my PlayStation, but it's been a long time since we've had Oblivion. Give me Oblivion. But let me just tell you, people thought I was an Ubisoft shell. You ain't seen nothing when it comes to Bethesda. I am a Bethesda girly through and through. Inject me. Put it in my veins.
Let's go.
Let me shell it up some.
Kyle Stevenson, you have been presented two games, Oblivion Remake, Starfield PS5.
Mhm.
Take one, leave one. Which one do you take?
Why not both?
You have to take one.
If I have to take one, because I love Light and her friendship, I'm going Oblivion.
All right, fair enough.
Yes.
I am gonna go Starfield because I want to see all the haptics of shotguns. That's it. Shotgun was my favorite gun to use in that game. Nothing better than a double barrel. Ooh, it just felt nice. When you're in ZOG, it pushes you back. Oh,
I'd be excited to play it because, like, I know you two both love it a lot. So I'd be, and I trust both of your opinions. So I would love to play it for myself because you obviously love it a whole lot.
Yep. All right, last one from the rumor mill and same podcast and same Tom Warren, who suggests Halo series might not come to PS5 in the way you're thinking. This is written up by Liam Croft over at Push Square. It suggested that the current plan to do with Halo on other platforms is to release an incomplete collection. Warren explains he doesn't think it'll be every game, and that's all he can share for now, suggesting he knows more. The Master Chief Collection contains the following games: Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, which had Nathan Fillion in it, Halo 4, which didn't have Nathan Fillion in it, and Halo Reach, which doesn't also have Nathan Fillion in it, but is the best one. Upon its original Xbox One launch, the collection only contained the first 4 games, and Halo 3 ODST and Reach were added post-launch updates. So it seems like over the months, they're going to add and trickle in games to this collection. The only question is, will it be an extra 10 or $20, or will it just be free and they just want more publicity for it? God only knows. Cool beans. Yeah. Don't care how it comes to PlayStation, as long as it comes to PlayStation, where I platinum it and enjoy it.
It's gonna feel so weird.
So weird.
Mm-hmm.
So weird. You kidding me? Like when you talk after you get Novocaine?
Yeah.
That type of weird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna love it.
It's gonna be wow. It's gonna be weird.
It might be one of the most intense feelings of like, did I travel to a different universe? Like, what's happening here? I'm pressing square to melee hit or reload, like.
And we say all that right now.
Joe, so what are you waving around?
Oh, this is a screwdriver. This is my latest fidget.
What did you think it was, Light?
Lint roller.
Lint roller. There you go. Yeah, I fidget with things.
Lint roller I've ever seen.
So in the beginning of the podcast, I was fidgeting with this broken AirPod, and now I went to this screwdriver.
Okay, sorry, continue.
No, it's okay. I'm done. That said, so last week, everybody, the Xbox fanboys, they were yelling, "Oh, look, PlayStation players, they love Xbox. It's the most pre-ordered thing on their stores. Look how stupid you guys are." There's been a report that, Xbox games on PlayStation have been kind of hit or miss, where some games do really great, like Sea of Thieves has sold over 1.8 million units, and like Pentiment only sold 17,000, which I've been playing Pentiment.
Play
Good
Pentiment. Good game.
Good game.
Good game.
But this doesn't change the strategy. It's called introducing an audience to new things. Like I saw people unimpressed with the numbers coming out of this report saying like, oh, Age of Mythology, 48,000 sold on PlayStation. Uh-oh, something happened onto my computer. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. And I'm like, that's not bad. Like the game literally just came out. It's a strategy game. It came out a year ago, technically like 20 years ago. So this is fine. So some people are just being a little wacky and crazy. That said, very excited to see how Forza does and very excited to see how Indiana Jones does. And I think that's going to be the true bellwether to see how this plan works out, because so far I think it's working great when they're not even advertising these games and they're just like, here, it's on the PlayStation Store. Have at it. Here's just some news. We talked about all these games, but Hollow Knight, we saw the sizzle reel on the Nintendo Direct, still coming out this year.
Okay.
Deltarune, it's still coming. It's actually launching on June 5th. Take that. And then, of course, Hitman devs. James Bond gets its first true trailer at the Nintendo Direct. God bless. And Kyle Stevenson, lastly for you.
Yeah.
What's going on with this FF9 anniversary website
boy,
thing? It's like merch you can buy.
Don't give
25th
me
anniversary.
hope. Square Enix. Or Square Enix. Yeah, right now it's just merch. They say they're going to have some announcements later, closer to the anniversary, which is in the June-July timeframe. I'm forgetting what it is. The whole party being in plushes is great. They all look great. The Zidane and Dagger statue look awesome. There's a children's book about my boy Vivi. I'm excited. I love that they're talking about Final Fantasy IX, one of my favorites of all time. But don't give me hope that the remake is real. Don't do that to me.
Fair enough. Last but not leastly, on Flash News, PlayStation Plus Essential Games are live, and yet again, they're RoboCop, The Rogue City, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Digimon Cyber Sleuth, Hacker's Memory. All right, Kyle.
Yeah.
That's sad. Anything you guys have been playing this week?
Yep.
Like, I don't expect you playing anything.
I did a little bit of dabbling.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah?
A little bit of dabbling.
What have you been playing?
Well, I platinumed Shadows.
Yeah.
They paid me the big bucks. I had to platinum
You
it.
have to.
That's right.
It's in your contract.
You got your bonus.
It's in my contract. Also, just in case it's not clear, I am not paid. I have never been paid.
They just gave her a code.
They gave me a code and people were unhappy. I also got a sweatshirt. Ooh.
But that wasn't from Ubisoft, right? That was from Antisocial Club or whatever?
It was a Venom Assassin's Creed crossover
Okay,
thing.
there you go.
So it technically was, but like that, if you think I changed my scoring of the game because I got a sweatshirt, like, please. Anyways, I also made it through the intro of Wanderstop.
Ooh, Wonderstop.
But then I had to stop because my brain was not processing. I was real confused. Pneumonia brain, antibiotic brain, not the time to learn a game like that. So I had to stop. But it was cute so far. I think I'm going to have to restart it, though.
Yeah.
And then I also, last minute, purchased the Croc remake today. Played a couple levels of that.
Yes.
Just to, have the little nostalgia.
Yeah.
Love
Because
it.
I had been joking about wanting that game being remade for so long. And then it actually came out. And I was like, I have to get the game now.
Yeah.
So I collected a couple of those football things and beat a couple of those levels, and it's been fun so far.
Nice.
How much is it?
Kyle Stevenson.
How much is the Croc remake?
It was 30.
30? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I ended up getting it, because I was like, that's not bad at all.
No, that's not too bad.
Huh. Kyle, what have you been playing? Have you been playing Wunderstube?
No, I need to get back to it.
Fair enough.
Since I'm so close in real life to being burnt out, I don't think I can play Wander stuff yet.
That's fair.
But more on will be the show. I do want to shout out the April Fool's program they put out yesterday. So if you're not familiar, MLB The Show does programs every once in a while where you do things in game, you earn stars to unlock new cards and some packs and experience points or whatever. Yesterday they did an April Fool's one where you unlock like the lowest rated cards in the game, like the commons who are like in the 60s and the highest are 99s. And to unlock them, you had to purposely do bad in games, like strike out 15 times with center fielders, commit errors as second baseman, give up runs, like fun things like that. So I really did enjoy doing that yesterday. So shout out to them for the creativity. I love that a lot. But and Assassin's Creed Shadows, I did hop in for a little bit. I've realized what I'm doing wrong, and I'm trying not to do it. I'm trying to do all the vantage points first. In the first area, as I do every Assassin's Creed game.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
And I still haven't done the first mission. I'm 8 hours in, and I haven't done the first mission. So I think I need to stop letting my OCD brain take over. Just like let's do the first story mission, and we'll go. It's gorgeous, though. I cannot stop saying how gorgeous it is. I'm getting really good at just killing everyone as Naue, though. It's great.
Dude, her kit gets way more in depth as the game.
I have a katana right now that has bleed.
Ooh.
So I just build that up, and it's nice. But the one I do want to shout out is one that we got a code for. Koira, I played the indie game published by Don't Nod and developed by Studio Tolima. It's their first game. Nice. Shout out to them for the code, for giving us all codes. It's roughly 3.5, 4 hours long. If you enjoyed Neva, you would enjoy this. There's no dialogue. Everything is told visually in the game, and it's a story about a human coming across a dog and the relationship between the two, dealing with hunters, and it's emotional, Joe. I'll give you that much. So, and it's really beautiful. I loved it a lot. My only issue with it is I feel like it was too simple.
Okay.
Like there wasn't too much challenge there, and when there was challenge, it was just because the signposting of where to go next and how to solve this puzzle wasn't super clear. But everything else about it is really gorgeous.
Tell me what the gameplay feels like. So you're telling me like this is a puzzle thing? Am I trying to avoid these hunters? Am I trying to?
You very early on are going through this forest, and you find a puppy, and it looks like it got caught like in a rabbit trap. So it's like hanging on a rope, like with a pulley system. So you free the dog, and it becomes yours, and you're going through, and like you come across like snow, so you make some snowmen and throw snowballs and stuff. Like there's cute things here and there, but every once in a while it'll get all ominous, and you'll hear like a gunshot in the background of hunters are nearby, and the dog gets scared and runs away, and you kind of have to like calm him down to make sure he follows you, and you come across some boar who are caught, and you have to free them, and it's not like you're not jumping anywhere, you're not attacking anything, you are just trying to solve very simple puzzles to unlock the next area and just follow along kind of thing.
Nice.
So nothing like very mechanically difficult, but the themes are great, very strong. Like I said, it was gorgeous. The music is great. It just wasn't challenging enough for me. So like as I was playing it, I played it one sitting. I was just hoping there was a little bit more there so I can be more engaged with it. But it very much felt as I was playing that I was just passing time kind of thing. Like I was playing the game to play the game and not really like attaching myself to everything.
Okay. I get nervous with dogs in games, as you know.
I know.
And the trap, not a fan of that. I am going to be diving into it. I think it's $18 or $20 bucks.
I'll double check, yeah, but it's not too bad.
Yeah. Platinum? Is there
no platinum?
Okay, what are we doing here?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I was making sure I was doing all the trophies, and I missed one because I guess I missed picking up a hat somewhere.
Okay.
And I missed it, and then I realized like, oh no, there's no platinum here, so I'll just live with it being at like 92, 96% or whatever.
That's gonna bother you in like a week.
Well, it probably will. But yeah, it's like Joe said, it's $18. So
Okay. Cool. Go out there. Do you recommend it?
yeah, I do. It's not like a strong recommendation, but if I were to give like a number score on it, I would say it's like 7.5-ish.
Okay. Solid.
Yeah, it's solid. It's a good time.
Okay, good.
If you like games like Neva, like a very emotional emotional narrative game. There we go. This should be right up your alley.
Excellent. Platinum Shadows did not get my check. It didn't clear. Code provided by Ubisoft. So Neckbeard, you also have to get mad at me. All right, fellow Neckbeard, you gotta attack your own. How does that feel? No, well, not really.
Yeah, but
your
you
own,
didn't
I
get a
think.
sweatshirt, so you weren't paid off.
That's
didn't.
true. They just need something to hide their stink.
Peek behind the curtain. You're like, Light, you order the collector's edition, and you tell me if it's worth it. So this is all your fault.
Truly, yeah. Now that you say it like that, shit. So Platinum Shadows, love it. I also platinumed another game. It released on April Fool's, and we're going to talk about it in a second. I Am Mayo Remayoed on PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
When in doubt, you got to play an old meme game. Got that platinumed.
Are you familiar with the Mayo games?
No, I did not know you were speaking English just then.
All right, so I Am Mayo is a great way to waste 30 to 40 minutes to obtain a platinum.
Okay.
This is a very old, and honestly may have opened the can of worms as to all the cheap and bad platinums that we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
An old meme from Podcast Beyond, literally a podcast from 12 years ago. No, even 16 maybe years ago. We're old. About I think it was a PS3 and Vita game at the time, where all you do is you're a finger, and there's a jar of mayo.
I already don't like it.
And then you're tapping the jar of mayo for 10,000 times.
That's all you do.
That's it.
Like,
and you get
is the mayo open?
Nope.
But it sometimes it's sexy. Sometimes it's sexy mayo. So some of the trophies include, and not limited to, there's little outfits that you tap. And a lot of it's like really, this guy has a weird sense of humor. Whoever made this, because it's like in bikinis, it's like covered in whipped cream, but provocatively. It's very weird.
What if I told you, like, there's 4 of these games?
There's 4 of them. And I thought, $2 for old time's sake. Let's do this. They added a mini game where it's a pachinko machine. That was very annoying. Didn't like the pachinko machine mini games. But yeah, got the platinum in that. Not proud now that I'm saying it out loud. I do see judgment in Light's eyes. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Not judgment, more so confusion. I'm trying to picture sexy mayo. I gotta Google it.
Just think a jar of mayo with a bikini on an actual jar of mayo. That's what it is.
Okay.
Let's provide.
Yeah,
right.
We're not opening up the lid light and doing anything with that.
Tasteful.
When you said I was tapping the mayo, I was like,
Yeah.
Then I've been playing Dungeons of Hinterberg, code provided by Microbird. Oh my goodness. So this is a game made by, if I'm not mistaken, an Austrian team that was obviously inspired by games like Persona, JRPGs like the Trails games, and 100% inspired by Legend of Zelda. And once I heard there's a lot of like dungeons and it's Zelda inspired and also Persona inspired, I needed to check this out. So when I requested for a code, I was very, very happy and humbled that they provided us one. This goes for $30 on PSN. I am still playing through it, so I'll give you my final review next week when I platinum this game because I'm enjoying it that much. It's a game where it's modern day. There's no it's cell shaded art style, but it's modern day. Just like if magic was real and I was living in New Jersey and nothing changed. There's no mythical like style to the art around us. It's just, there's like goblins and stuff around this one area in Austria. And the local government has made it a tourist attraction so that everybody could come in and fulfill their Lord of the Rings-esque fantasies where they're coming around with swords, shields, and you kind of choose your own adventure. So like there's some people where they're like, hey, what type of weapon are you using on your adventure? And I go, I'm using a sword. And they go, I'm using a gun. So it's very much this person coming in, they're working a 9 to 5. They're working in this law firm, and this is them trying to kind of break away from the mundane and do something fantastical, literally. Um, and it's great. This is a perfect PlayStation Portal game. The persona elements are when you're not in dungeons, time progresses and you make relationships with characters and even a dog. You can have a fun relationship with a pup. You be a good pup, bud. Um, and these friendship bonds, as they increase, they give you special things. So one of the first things they give you when you increase your friendship level with a certain character is they give you things like, oh, here is a photo mode. Oh, here's a little bit more health. Here's a little bit more magic. So that gives you, it buffs your character as you build rapport with people and unlock different abilities in town, whether it's like enchanting a weapon or things like that. So it improves your gameplay to and encourages you to go out there and find these people to progress their stories. Um, the dungeons themselves are they're very much inspired by old school Legend of Zelda, but also think of a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild shrine in terms of length. These dungeons are about 10 to maybe 15 minutes in length, depending on how smart you are. I'm a big dummy, so it took me a little longer. But each dungeon, from what I've experienced so far, experiments with different ideas. So one of it is like, basic platforming. Here's your tutorial. Here's jump from point A to point B. And then one is all about the magic ability that you're able to grapple hook onto things. And when you grapple hook onto objects, you pull them forward. And some things, some platforms are created and some disappear, and you have to traverse the dungeon accordingly. Some are time trials. Some are very much inspired by Resident Evil 4, where you're fighting people through carts that you're going along on these crazy rides through this like dungeon cave thing. It's a whole lot of fun, and the combat is very much old school Legend of Zelda, and I'm constantly using my abilities like my down B, my run and hit the ground like a superhero landing with my sword type of stuff. It's great. Like it's so great. And you also have like what we know of like Sony Sony first party like traversal of like here's this rock climbing section type of stuff. It's so incredibly well done. And the story, as you know, Kyle, indie games with me often they feel kind of samey. It's like, hey man, is it working a 9 to 5 boring? It's like, yes, dude, yes, I understand. This one doesn't hit me over the head with those type of vibes. Yet it tells a similar theme. It's just not whacking me over the head. The writing, I think, is a bit more clever, and it gets away with some of the things that I'd usually ding a game like this for. But man, I'm enthralled with it. I really, really love Dungeons of Hinterberg. Even just through it's a short game too. The platinum is 20 hours. I'm like 8 hours in, and I'm like, I gotta get back. I gotta play more Hinterberg. So yeah, it's a great game, whether I'm playing it on the big screen or again playing it on my portal and like watching like Righteous Gemstones while I'm playing. It's like it's great. It's a really good fun time. I can't recommend it enough. So Dungeons of Hinterberg team, y'all crushed it. I love it. Yeah. That's it, Kyle. Auntie, are you guys holding on to anything in particular?
I got a Lego bike.
Oh, I'm holding a screwdriver.
Aren't those Astrobot plushes great? Like,
So cute. I don't know where Kratos is though, because Baby Light took him.
Oh no.
The fur on the Kratos plush is so soft.
So soft. She brought his axe to school,
Nice.
and then she brought it back, After I told her not to, so she was naughty. She brought it back. She was like, I played a trick, Mama. I was like, what do you mean you played a trick? She's like, I brought Tatos' axe to school. And she pulls it out of her backpack. I was like, you little stinker. Now where's Tatos?
I love that.
Oh, she is such a cutie, and I love the school photo you sent of her to us. Of like the energy that she is exuding.
She is my child through and through, let me tell you.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, listen, prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals coming to the PlayStation storefront.
So just a reminder, in case anyone missed last week, I am no longer going to read the games that are coming out this week. Next week games.
Okay.
So starting on April 8th. Everybody on board? Everyone there with us? Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Shout out to our Xbox friends. South of Midnight comes out on April 8th. I'm super excited to hear a whole lot about it. The game looks awesome. Coming on April 10th to PlayStation 5 and is a day one on PS Plus Extra, I think. Blueprints, puzzle indie game that I've heard nothing but great things about. It's on April 10th. Monster Energy Supercross 25 on April 10th. Promise Mascot Agency coming on April 10th to PS5 and PS4. And shout out to the Talos Principle Reawakened coming to PS5 on April 10th. And that's it for this week of releases in PlayStation Land.
Yes. And now it's time for, sadly, the last segment, but our favorite segment of the show. It's time for the Sony Pony Express. Yeah! They defunded our program, so it's only one horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. The horse is sick. Send love to Biscuit. Sorry, go.
Heater writes in, because of Kyle getting the platinum in MLB The Show 25, I decided to grab the game. I'm so bad at baseball, though. Hey, welcome to the team. Love having you here. It's okay if you're bad at baseball. It's fine. I suggest if like the simulation stuff is too much for you and the current settings are, just switch it to like retro mode. So it's like the old school N64 games where it's a one button press and plays like the older games. See if that helps as you kind of learn into it. That's awesome. Yay.
Also, Hida, I think Hida is from, if I'm not mistaken, the Netherlands.
Oh, nice.
I think. If I'm not mistaken, Hida, correct me. Are you looking for a roommate, though? And could you shelter 3, possibly 5 individuals from,
What does your immigration process look like?
Yeah, like, what's that about? And can we still speak English over there?
And let's bump those numbers up, because I'm also going to bring my nieces and nephew.
Yeah, that's true.
How many spare bedrooms do you have?
Let us know.
I'm extremely flexible. I can fit in small surfaces. Throwing it up there.
I just need a
If it
pillow.
fits, he sits.
I love that. This comes from the Green Gorilla Gamer, and Joe put in that I have to read this because he refuses to.
I refuse.
Sup Skongers. That feels weird. Let's talk about
That feels inappropriate for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
That feels like someone who taps mayo.
Listen, don't tell my mom.
That's so funny. Let's talk about the monkey in the room. And by monkey, I mean Silksong. And by Silksong, I mean Donkey Kong. But I actually mean Silksong. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about the mistakes in the Switch 2 Direct Showcase. Okay. Locking a GameCube controller for the Switch 2 behind an online membership paywall? Stupid. Well, they've kind of always done those kind of things. The C button only being used for a chat feature instead of an actual gameplay button like the Wii Nunchuck? Major L. Price increase? Absolutely brutal. Micro SD card not being transferable? Just more money. There's actually quite a few more, but I'm curious if you guys have any others. Are any of you picking this up? Joe, how do you feel about the new From Software game being exclusive to the console? We kind of covered that earlier.
Yeah.
Umbrella,
I want to yell the C word under my shirt.
Oh, Jesus. Cash grab?
Cheese?
And the exclusives, not bad. A new Kirby game, Hyrule game, fucking Donkey Kong, finally, and of course Mario Kart. Some of the other announcements like Enter the Gungeon 2 and a sequel to Astroneer has me pretty excited. What are you excited for? We answered it earlier. But we're not here for any of this garbage. Bloodborne who? Not Bloodborne 2, baby. Team Cherry has broken their long streak of silence, even on their own fucking Discord server, and finally delivered us with a Hollow Knight Silksong update with a proper release of 2025 in a 5-second reel. But who cares? It's happening, and Silk sanity can end. Kyle, are you and I going for the Platinum and Hollow Knight before this releases? I think we are. Hey, guess what, Green Girl and everybody out there? I don't like Hollow Knight. And with that, I can finally rest easy for the first time.
Kyle. Hashtag cancel Kyle.
What?
I played an hour of Silksong multiple times, and I got lost, and I stopped playing.
That is exactly why I don't like it. I'm very bad with a game saying, here, go. That's why I didn't gel with Breath of the Wild. So Silksong, as much as I love a Metroidvania, and I adore how Hollow Knight looks and feels and everything. It's a beautiful game. I hate that I get lost so easy. And if I don't buy the markers to place where I need to remember where things are, I'm out. I can't commit to it.
So Cannon said, I never unsub so fast from the Patreon. How about this? This is a Patreon tier, and if we hit
no, I cannot play this game. It's very hard. I can't do it.
Mr. Light and I pseudo played in tandem, and when I say that, I mean he played and I watched for the most part, but then I also helped him hunt down grubs. So I haven't actually played it myself, but I am obsessed with this game. Yeah. I love the music of this game. Yes. I love the art style of this game, and I did a little bit of navigation besides the bosses. I did not attempt a single boss, because this was before I'd even played Bloodborne or anything like that, so I was not a boss girly. But I was having a lot of fun with the exploration and finding the new zones, but we were playing it together. So we were talking through okay, wait, we've been there before. Can we do this? Can we go back that way? And there was a lot of guides looking up too.
Again, like I said, Hollow Knight is as close to a masterpiece as it possibly can be. I just don't like it.
How about this? Patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. All right, we'll do a little stream of Silksong. How about that?
Oh boy!
All right, if we hit $600 on the Patreon, which we're about $100 away from, I'll play it. $700 gets me to platinum it. I need to get to Summer Game Fest. You know how much the hotel for Boston was?
It's a lot.
$2,500 because I don't want to Uber. It's nuts.
Yeah. Are you staying at the hotel that we're staying at?
No, but it's 0.8 miles away, and literally it's like a weight loss goal. The reason why I paid so much is this is a weight loss goal. I want to see how much progress I've made over this past year. So I'm literally walking to PAX every day, then walking PAX. Even my coworkers like, Joe, you're nuts. And then walking back every day. Let's go. Mm-hmm. I'm as a kid say, I'm finna about to walk 8 miles every one of those days.
Getting back to Green Gorilla, and with that, I could finally rest easy for the first time since May 9th, 2023, which was the last time news was shared for Silksong, but with a delay instead of positivity. Have a gosh darn amazing week, and God bless. Oh, and Tegan, I hope you're feeling better. You've been in my prayers. That whole pneumonia thing sounds brutal. Not sure if you're on tonight or just listening, but if it's the former, I would be honored if this week you would read my question instead of the guys. Joe, you set me up for failure. You must have worn your Silksong sweater today. If you're not on, then Kyle, LOL.
Next time. I'll get you next week.
I didn't read the whole question, but I like how this worked out. Suck it.
That's great.
That's right. Listen. Thank you for the prayers. That means a lot. That's very nice. All right, everybody. That's been the Trophy Room this week. We actually made a doozy out of this one. I loved it. But y'all, is there anything you'd like to spotlight before we get out of here? Maybe, I don't know. Tegan, you want to spotlight that you're alive?
I'm living. You can follow me on YouTube. The uploads are crazy though, because Lord knows when I'm going to be recording again. At Lightweight Gaming for your gameplays, at Lightweight Reacting for your movie reactions. And I just reacted to The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug. I don't know when that's going to be up though, but I recorded it. So
okay.
That'll be up at some point.
I like you. You're gonna be like, "Hello, YouTube fam. I watched this movie in a fever dream."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much. My last GTA video, I think it's going up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what I did in it. It was literally just I have no idea. I have no idea.
Love that. Also, shout out before we even go. Hida says that we'll keep in touch. So they must have a large basement. They're
Okay.
gonna hide us all.
Right. Okay.
All right, Kyle Stevenson, how about you, sir? Anything you'd like to spotlight before we get on out of here?
You can follow me at Mr. KSEP everywhere. Go tell somebody you love them. Go tell a dev that you appreciate their work. And go follow 61 Indie for any indie games coverage you want. There's no wishlist podcasts. I almost said IndieCast. We haven't been IndieCast all year. This week because Mike is flying up so we can film the 6-1 showcase this weekend. So no wish list on that front. Very exciting.
Heck yes. And you can find me over at Mr. Badbit on Blue Sky. You can follow the show over at PS Trophy Room on Blue Sky. And yeah, that's it. That's all we got. You can follow this show over on the Trophy Room on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast service of choice. You can support us over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. And listen, if you have no bucks to toss our way because I don't know, some dumb idiot said 46% tariff on Vietnam. I totally understand it. If that comment triggered you, don't rate it and review us, whatever. But if if you can, rate us 5 stars over at Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It really does help us out. Okay? Really does help grow this show. Love y'all. Keep your wits about you. Keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation. Bye-bye.
Bye. I love you.